Hey, what's up everybody? Full disclosure, keeping it 100, I really never thought that I would buy anything from Buck Mason. I wrote them off as a brand. I've been in their store, I've seen their stuff around, and it just seems like an okay brand, but just not really something that I would really buy, and if I did, probably not something I'd want to talk about on the channel that much. I went in there recently with a couple of friends who were shopping for some stuff, and a dude named Dean, shout out to Dean, showed me these Toughknit t-shirts made in Pennsylvania, like me, and I would like to tell you about them. Let's do it. The black t-shirt is the keystone of my wardrobe, and yes, we are starting right out the gates with a Pennsylvania pun. I originally kind of wrote Buck Mason off, and the reason is that I walked in their Georgetown store a few months ago and looked around, talked to the staff, checked out some stuff that they had, and my general impression was that what they were going for was super basic kind of golden retriever energy pieces that are somewhere between, let's say, where Everlane and Banana Republic and J. Crew are, and where a brand like Rag & Bone or Todd Snyder is, both in terms of the range of style as well as price points, etc. I went in there recently because I had a couple friends that were trying to do some manscaping, shop for some new clothes, and they wanted to check out Buck Mason, so we did. This time in this store, I don't remember how the conversation started, but the staff ended up telling me about some USA-made shirts that they had in a 2-pack. And I thought to myself, okay, well, let me at least check it out. I'm from Pennsylvania originally, and I saw that these were actually knit in a factory in Pennsylvania, which I'll talk about a little bit more. So I decided to pick this 2-pack up. This was $88. These are pretty lightweight shirts. They're called the Toughknit t-shirts, and I think that's a bit of a misnomer given how light they are, but they aren't bad in a vacuum. What I will say about that is the market for really well-made 2-pack t-shirts, as you can probably see, if not just from my channel, but just from a quick Google, is really saturated. So you got Whitesville, you have 316, you have Lady White, which I'm actually wearing, recording this review right now. You have Velvet Sheen. I think Samurai even makes a 2-pack too. So some really big name brands. Buck Mason evidently bought this factory in Monton, Pennsylvania, which isn't too close, but isn't too far from where I was born. I would say about an hour or so away. What's interesting about these, I noticed from the product description, for those of you who are really focused on sustainability and stuff, these are actually knit in Pennsylvania at said factory, and then they're shipped to Los Angeles where they're sewn together, which is kind of interesting logistically. I should mention that there have been issues with labor in Los Angeles and a legal loophole which previously allowed manufacturers to essentially pay laborers as subcontractors who were paid on a per piece basis, which basically allowed wages that were like $3 or $4 an hour, in that kind of range. It's my understanding that loophole has actually been closed as of a couple of years ago. However, compliance still remains an issue. I don't have time to visit the Buck Mason facility or the facility where Lady White makes their t-shirts, but it is something I keep in mind when I'm trying to buy sustainably and I see made in LA. Anyway, the fit of these is pretty basic. I would say that because they're such a light t-shirt, they don't really instill a lot of confidence, and I just don't feel like it's a necessarily premium item. This is kind of a washed black, so it's a little bit lighter. I wouldn't quite call it like charcoal or anything, but I would say these probably shine as undershirts more than anything else because they are pretty light. But I've found myself wearing these a couple times like under sweaters or like a Ironheart CPO or something like that, where the measurements are a little bit too tight for something bulky. Would I recommend these to people? I would say generally, yeah, with the caveat that, hey, this is going to be a lighter t-shirt, so you kind of got to keep that in mind when you're buying them. The price point isn't the most competitive thing in the world, but I would probably buy them again for the sake of supporting a business that's partially operating out of Pennsylvania, at least some of their operations. So for me, ratings wise, these are going to be a B, and that's about all I have to say about that. What do you guys think? Have you tried these on? Do they fit into your style or whatever? Is there another black t-shirt you'd recommend? Feel free to speak your mind in the comments. Until next time, peace dudes.